Did you see that post?
People are talking.
Here's what's trending on the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
Yeah, we gotta have this conversation. Authorities confirmed that a 37-year-old woman was fatally shot by an ICE agent yesterday morning during a federal immigration operation in South Minneapolis.
Yeah, Ricky, the incident occurred as ICE agents conducted one of the largest immigration crackdowns in the city. A video from the scene shows officers approaching the woman's stopped vehicle before multiple shots were fired, and she was later pronounced dead at a local hospital. Now, federal officials say the agent fired in self-defense, claiming the woman tried to use her vehicle as a weapon, but local leaders, including Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, who strongly disputes that narrative, calling the shooting unnecessary and condemning the action. Well, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has also weighed in, issuing an order to have the National Guard prepared to respond if needed and urging people to stay calm amid growing tension. Now, Walz and other state officials have criticized the federal operation and called for a full and transparent investigation.
Yeah, sorry about that. We were supposed to have some audio. Let me know if you get that audio, Dave. Here's the audio.
There's little I can say, again, that'll make this situation better. But I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite.
Protests and public outcry have followed the shooting, along with a national debate over immigration enforcement. And joining us this morning, attorney and TV host Roland Martin. Hey, Roland, good morning. Happy to have you, man.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Roland, I'm surprised we ain't been texting each other because, man, I know you got a crazy schedule. But everybody that's just waking up or catching up, that's been up under a rock, what do we know so far about what happened in Minneapolis? Can you refresh us?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
It's very simple. That is, Trump has sent more than 2,000 ICE agents into Minneapolis. He's been doing this since last year, since getting back into the White House. And you have to understand what he's trying to do. Everything for Donald Trump is a television show. I want people to understand it's about a television show. What they have been doing is they've been shooting their own videos and so posting their own videos. Remember them rappelling down buildings in Chicago at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, having people stand outside, a little kid in zip ties. It's all about, this show of force. But you got to remember, President Obama Obama and Biden deported more people than Trump has deported. But it's this whole show. So if we don't even know if these are actually federal law enforcement agencies. Agents. We don't know if they're actual officers because what they've been doing just been recruiting anybody. So the problem here is this here. The Department of Homeland Security has a policy that states that officers are not to shoot at moving vehicles. That's their actual policy. Okay, it's right there. So what you saw was Trump has allowed these folks to operate in impunity. Remember during the campaign, what did Trump say? He said he wanted to give law enforcement 100% immunity so they can do their jobs. There will be no action taken against this guy. Remember, listen, New Year's Eve, a black man in Los Angeles was shot and killed by an off-duty ICE agent over fireworks. And so Trump is giving these people have been walking up to cars, smashing windows, ordering them out. And then witnesses said that there was conflicting evidence, conflicting directions given to this woman. One of the agents was saying, get out of the car. Others were saying, get out of the way. And then the Trump folks are lying. Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, she holds a news conference. She says, the agents were stuck in the snow. We saw the video. They had removed the snow from the streets. They were trying to run them over. Trump posts on Truth Social, the agent that was almost killed, it's a miracle he's alive. We saw the video of the agent who fired the gun walking away, no harm whatsoever. Not only that, there was a doctor who was on the scene. The doctor ran up and said, "I'm a doctor." They pointed guns and said, "Get away or we're going to shoot." This woman had no aid for 15 minutes. When the ambulance arrived, there were so many police cars blocking the ambulance, they would not have to let the paramedics in. The paramedics had to run on foot to treat the woman. The woman got no treatment for 15 minutes. Normally, under law enforcement guidelines, when you shoot someone, you are to render aid. And you know what's going to happen to this officer? Nothing. Because Donald Trump, this is what he wants. He wants this, and people need to understand this is what people have been fearing, that this was going to happen with the actions over the last year, and this is no shock whatsoever.
Wow. Man. Wow. Well, Roland, when a federal agency like ICE is involved in a deadly shooting, who actually investigates, and how transparent is that process? Because it seems like a win situation for us.
Well, not necessarily, because there are a number of states that this person, he can be prosecuted based upon various state laws. So we're going to see what Keith Ellison, the former member of Congress, is the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota. And so I'm sure they're going to be looking into this as well. And so, but it's going to be very difficult because you got to remember, what do cops always do? Oh, I feel for my life. That's the one thing they actually run to. But the issue here is going to be, did he violate DHS policy? Now, the problem is going to be jurisdiction. So I'm sure they're going to be looking at, can they charge him under state law? Because here's the deal. You can forget federal. And you know what? Because Trump's Department of Justice ain't going to prosecute this guy. Right. And you know what? If somehow they did, Trump could easily pardon this officer. But I need people to understand, Donald Trump said this during the campaign, 100% immunity. He has, one of the first things that he did when he got back to the White House, there were 2 cops in Washington, D.C. who had been convicted when they were chasing a black man, and that black man died. They were convicted by a jury. Donald Trump pardoned those cops. There was a Los Angeles County deputy sheriff who had viciously beat this woman who was recording this man being arrested, tried, gets convicted. They then do a post sentence. We want to change the sentence. He will never hold law enforcement accountable. And this is why I keep telling people why voting matters. Because under President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, you had numerous patterns and practices investigation of police departments, of law enforcement, being charged, jailers, wardens. You're not going to see any of that under Trump because he wants them doing this kind of stuff. And so, listen, folks, buckle up because the next 3 years is going to be difficult. Man. But this is why we need people to understand. We told people this was going to happen. Yeah. Every day we kept saying it on the show. You put this thug back in charge, he is going to create mayhem across this country, and he is sending ICE agents. We saw this happen in Chicago. We saw it in Los Angeles. He is doing this, and we don't even know who these people are. They're hiding their faces. They're hiding their badges.
It's the Proud
You don't even
Boys.
know if somebody comes up. Yeah, you literally don't know who this is. Hey, just last week in another another city, somebody was impersonating an ICE agent and pulled this black guy over, and later it wasn't even real. There have been people impersonating ICE agents, raping women, because again, you don't know who the hell these people are. So it is really scary what's going on.
Roland, hold that thought. We're going to bring you back on the other side, y'all. More Roland Martin coming up next. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. All right, y'all. We got the one and only Roland Martin on with us this morning. It's our guest today, and we've been talking about the woman that was fatally shot by an ICE agent yesterday in Minnesota. And Roland, thank you again for joining us. I just want to know why should issues around ICE be important for the black community? And I really want you to hit this one right here. We talked about this.
Well, first of all, we have to understand 10% of America's black population are immigrants. You got people in this country. You're in Minneapolis there, significant Somalian population. You've got Haitians. You've got folks from Bermuda. You've got folks from Philadelphia, I think, where he said, well, can we get people from Denmark and Sweden? They want white people. I need people to listen to what I'm saying. Donald Trump and the Republican Party, they only want white immigrants. That's what they want. So we have to understand that it's not somebody's listening. Man, you know what? That's right. Close the border, get them people out. Yeah, I just read a story where ICE detained a woman in Maryland for the last 25 days, and she was an American citizen. They are walking up to people going, oh, you look like you don't speak English. So African, we are being impacted. We had better understand that the trickle-down effect is this here. Again, let me say it again. A off-duty ICE agent shot and killed a black man in Los Angeles on New Year's Eve over fireworks. So this heavy-handed these actions that Donald Trump has endorsed. I sent you and your producer clip. Stephen Miller was on Fox News on Will Cain's show saying that police officers have absolute immunity. So these videos that we're seeing of them walking up, smashing windows, snatching people out of cars, that has happened to black people. Let me say it again. When the Homeland Security, when they stormed into Chicago, they posted this 48 hours like, Jerry Bruckheimer type video of these officers rappelling down the building with their guns and everything. They had a small black child standing outside in the cold with no clothes on, with zip ties on their hands. And you know what? The building they raided, not a single person in that building that was raided at 3 o'clock in the morning was actually charged. Those were black people. And so I need people to understand that we can't just go, oh, well, that's not us. That's those Latinos. That's those Venezuelans, those Colombians. That's those folks. No, these actions, by him sending the National Guard into Memphis, they're going to be sending the National Guard into New Orleans because the Republican governor has allowed this here. Now, the Supreme Court, they ruled against him. So, he pulled them out of L.A., out of Chicago, of the places. But this is what we're seeing. We are seeing a thug in chief. This man is doing whatever he wants to do. Republicans in the House, in the Senate, are not stopping him. He has no boundaries whatsoever. And so the actions that we are seeing with ICE are also being applied to every other place. I have been screaming this on my show since he got inaugurated. They are targeting black people. They are trying to defund black America. They are targeting every facet of black America. They're targeting black politics, black business. They're targeting black academics. They're targeting black health. We need to understand that. These actions go far beyond what we're seeing with ICE and law enforcement. We are seeing them target us in every way. So we better buckle up. So when we talk about voting is not just about casting a ballot. It's literally protecting your civil and economic rights. And these folks do not care.
Hey, Roland, real fast, man, we see a lot of protests happening right now about ICE. What does this moment say about trust or even a lack of trust between communities and the actual federal law enforcement?
Well, you got to understand, this shooting took place 4 blocks from where George Floyd was murdered. We saw protests last night in New York. The question, what we have to now see is this going to spark nationwide protests? What is this going to lead to? And so that's going to be the whole issue here. A lot of people are scared because here's the other thing that we got to understand. And black activists have told me this. Donald Trump cannot wait for mass protests because he wants martial law. He wants to tell folks to go in and take those activists out. So that's the other thing. A lot of activists are very scared of going to the streets because that's what he wants. He wants to unleash law enforcement. Remember, his first time he was there, he told the defense secretary, why can't they just shoot him in the knee? He wanted the military. Donald Trump wanted the military to quell protests and said, why can't y'all just shoot him in the knee? Y'all, that's the kind of person who's now sitting in the Oval Office. And we had better understand the threat that Donald Trump poses to life and liberty in the United States.
Hey, Roland, we appreciate all that. Let everybody know real quick how you can be reached.
Y'all, watch our show, Roland Martin Unfiltered, every night on the Black Star Network, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Go to our YouTube channel. We talk about all this sort of stuff. Y'all, this is real. This is real. That's how – so we're breaking it down every night. Share it. Pass it around.
All right, y'all. More Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up. Love you, Roland.